Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sonam Gupta, working as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So today I am going to to discuss a complex topic in software project management, which is the management, which is the most important topic in SPM. Now, what will management will include, how the project can be managed. So all these topics will be included in it. The main topics which I am going to cover in this particular slide, this is a program management, benefits of management, the project evaluation, how the evaluation will be done based on the management techniques like CBA, which is the cost benefit analysis, cash flow forecasting, and the project risk evaluation, and how this risk will affect this particular cost as well. So how the management is going to discuss all about these things. Now, first comes about to the program management. Now, in this program management, there are many different terms which comes out to be like, it is a group of the projects that are managed in a coordinated way to gain the benefits that would not be possible where the projects to be managed independently. So, this is the first definition of project management. Now, here if we see, there are three keywords in this program management. What is this? First, it is the group of the project. Second one, it should be in a coordinated way, and third one, it is independent in nature. Like, what as the group of the project means? Group of the project means if a company is there, it is not possible that the company is handling just a single project. What the company is doing, it is developing multiple projects. So where the company will require, now the company will need a project manager. Now that particular project manager, or we can say the program manager, how many projects they are handling? They are handling a group of the projects. There are multiple projects that particular person is handling. Now, how that particular person have to handle all these projects, that should be in a coordinated way. Coordination means that all the team members, like whether they are developers, they are requirement gatherers, or we can say they are the testers, they have to be on the same platform. If the modules are to be developed, then the people who are responsible to develop any particular module, they have to be on the same platform. So for that, they should be working in a coordinated way. Now, if they work in a coordinated way, then only they will get the benefits in terms of the cost and in terms of the reputation as well. And here the projects, they are being handled independently by different people. Only one single person is there who is handling all those resources. Now, the programs, what they can be? They can be strategic, they can be business cycle programs, they can be infrastructure programs, the research and development program, and the innovative partnerships. Now, if I talk about all these different 5 points, all these programs which are there, these 5 points, they are the different part of the life cycle which is included any project. Like the program, they can be strategic in nature. We have to make any strategy, or we have to make any, we can say the path through which that particular project can be completed. Business cycle programs like the BPAs can be involved in it, so that the particular project can be gained into the system. The company can gain the project, so that the company can get benefit for it. Infrastructure program, like the company has to provide any hardware or software, so that different company can make any other project. Research and development program, like if we say about the research also has to be done, what are the new things that can be developed in the project. So these are the research and the development programs. Innovative partnerships can be there. 2 or more companies can be clubbed together, so that the skills of all those different companies can be clubbed in a single way, and both the companies can get benefited. The innovative partnerships can be between the colleges, or we can say between the education field and the industry as well. So, the first thing which comes, program managers and the project managers. Now, what is the difference between the program manager and the project manager? First thing, it is the program manager, they handle many simultaneous projects. So, to handle multiple projects at a single time, it is the work of the program manager. Now, what the project manager is going to do? The project manager is going to handle one project at a single time. Second one, the personal relationship with the skilled resources. Program manager has one-to-one communication, or we can say a personal relationship with all the skilled resources. The project manager, it is having the impersonal relations, it is not connected directly to all these relationships. Next one, optimization of the resource usage. This is the work of the program manager. It depends upon program manager how he is going to handle the multiple projects in its vicinity. Like suppose one project is there, it is requiring 4 resource person. Now if one resource person does not has any work, then he has to shift that resource person to any other project. So this is a responsibility of the program manager. Now, what will the project manager will do? It will the minimization for the demand for the resources. The project manager will demand from the program manager. So, it is the responsibility of the project manager to demand less from the program manager. Projects tend to be seen as similar in case of program manager. For the project manager, projects tend to be seen as the unique in nature. Now, project sharing resources, how we can do? We can have a matrix for it. We are having the project managers and the program management. So, project managers on the horizontal axis and the program managers on the vertical axis. Suppose we are having 4 resources, resource W, resource X, resource Y and Z. 4 projects are there which is being handled by the program management like project A, B, C, D. Now, what are the resources? Resource W given to project A to project B, resource X given to project B, resource Y given to project C and D, and resource Z given to project A, B and D. Now, what will happen if the project manager of project C require the resource Z for this particular thing? What will happen? This program manager, he will take out the resource from either project A, B or D and give this particular resource to this project C. So, this is how the resources can be managed, and from this the program manager can also get a clear picture that where the resources are being getting filled. Now, strategic programs, it is based on the OGC approach, and the planning it is to be done in the program mandate, which is describing program mandate will be followed, and what will include in the program mandate. First one, it is the new services capability that the program should deliver. What are the capabilities, what are the things or what are the new services that the program has to deliver. Second one, how an organization will be improved. Suppose I had developed one particular project, I got some risk in it and some loss in it. So, how I can improve in my career, how my reputation will be included. Fit with the existing organization goals. Each and every organization, it is having more or less 2 or 3 or maybe multiple goals. So, how the project will get fit in for these organizational goals. And finally, the program director will be there. It will be appointed as a champion for the scheme. So, this is the OGC approach which is followed for the strategic programs. Next one, it is the next stage documents. Next stage documents means I am having a strategic documents. After that, what all documentation will be required? The first document will be there. It is the program brief. Program brief, it will include what is the feasibility study of the project, what will be the cost of the project, what are the benefits that will be from the project. Next one, vision statement. It explains the new capability that the organization will have. So, every single organization, it is going to have a vision as well, that from where till where the organization has to reach. Next one, it is a blueprint. It explains the changes to be made to obtain the new capability. Next one, it is a benefit management. Now, benefit management will be there, like we are having developers, users and the organization. So, what is that? We are developing an application. So, this is again a part of it. Now, the developers are going to build this application. Okay. Now, the application that will have been developed, the users will use this particular application. Now, this application in turn, when the user will use this application, the client has got the delivery. What will get? We will get the benefits in it. Benefits, it can be in terms of the reputation, benefits it can be in the terms of the cost as well. From those benefits, these benefits are for this particular organization. So, this is how this benefit management system will happen. Let's see once again, the developers are there, developers will build the application will be used by the user. In turn, that application will give some benefits, and this benefit it is for the organization which is there. So, therefore, it is at the program level. Now, for the benefits management, we have to follow certain tasks, we have to follow certain steps for it, like we have to define the expected benefits. What are the expected benefits that are required? whether it is just monetary or it is something else, it's for some ethics as well. So we have to identify the expected benefits for it. Now we also have to make a balance between the cost and the benefit. Like I have discussed, everything, it is not just monetary, we have to see some ethical issues as well. So whether it comes in the ethics or it is just the cost based. Plan how the benefits will be achieved. Once we have identified the benefits, we also have to identify how these benefits will be achieved. So we have to make a planning for it. Then we have to assign the responsibilities for these achievements. Like for example, I have posed module A. Now I know that how this module A will be developed, what will be the benefit if I deliver this particular module A. Now I also have to identify who will be the responsible for developing this module A, so that I can come to the achievement for the benefit. Now monitor the achievement for the benefits. This is again a responsibility of the program manager. Now for this, to carry out all these tasks, to carry out all these benefits, to make a balanced, making the responsible person, seeing how these particular benefits has been achieved, we have to require certain things. What is that? First one, mandatory requirement. Second one, improved quality of service. Third one, increased productivity. Fourth one, more motivated workforce. And finally, the internal management benefits. So to have any benefit from any management, all these things, all these points will be required. Like what are the things which are required anyhow? What are the mandatory requirements for it? For example, to develop any project, a requirement feasibility has to be carried out. Okay, now for that feasibility, a documentation is maintained. If that documentation is not there, then the client can change again and again that these are my requirements, these are my requirements, I had said this, and all those friction will arise. So mandatory requirement is that particular documentation. So all the documentations which are mandatory to carry out any particular task, it is required. Improved quality of service, thereby it will increase the productivity as well. Having motivated workforce, because if the cost is given high to any employee, then more or less he will feel motivated for it. We are having internal management benefits also for that. Now for that, if I follow all these risks and if I get all these benefits, what will be there? We will have a less risk, economies will be high, the revenues will be very much high which will be generated, and it will be strategic fit. Quantifying the benefits, like how the benefits can be quantified, how I can say that okay, this much was the benefit which I have gained in this project. So what are the benefits? It can be quantified in values like reduction of staff X saving Y dollar. So that can also be a quantified, like if the project can be done by 5% and if this particular project has been done by 4%, that means I am saving some cost, because for that 1% the cost will be removed. Quantified but not valued, like a decrease in customer complaints by X%. So there are many customer care services as well. If we get less complaints on the customer care, then we can also say that it is benefits, but it is not valued, because it is said that okay, this was a complaint, this is not there. So it is not valued, but it is again a quantifiable in nature. Identified but not easily quantified, like public approval for an organization in the locality where it is based. So this is again which is not easily quantified in nature. For this, making all these management benefits to be quantified, we need a cost benefit analysis, which is also termed as the CBA. Now for the CBA, what are the things which are required? First one, it is a development cost, the setup and the operational cost. These three things are required so that we can have the cost benefit, or we can say the cost requirement for any project. Then we will identify the value of the benefits and then check the benefits are greater than the cost or not. What is this cost? This cost is the cost which will be required to build up any project. And if the benefits are greater than the cost, that means the company or the organization has succeeded in its project. Now for this net profit, we are having various terms like year 0, it represents all the cost before the system it is operational. Cash flow, it is the value of the income less outgoing. And finally, it is the net profit value which will be calculated of all the cash flows for the lifetime of the applications. Now, let's see this example. This is the time take to start generating a surplus of the income over outgoings. So, what is this? This is basically a project scenario. The project is of 5 years and the cash flow for that means for the initial year, that means for the 0th year, the company has invested 1 lakh rupees for it. After that, year by year, like for it will calculate the accumulated amount. First year, the company has invested 1 lakh rupees. So, the accumulation was in the negative terms. So, that is minus 1 lakh. In the second year, that means if I say after 0th year comes to be the first year from the after initial phase. In the first year, the company got benefited by 10,000. Now, how much amount the company has accumulated? This 10,000 will get subtracted from this minus 1 lakh and it will come out to be minus 90,000. Okay. Similarly, in the subsequent year, again the company got benefited by 10,000. Now, this 10,000 will get subtracted from this 90,000 and it came out to be minus 80,000. Similarly, for this minus 80,000 in another year, company got benefited by 10,000 and then it will be get subtracted from this 80,000, which comes out to be 70,000. In the fourth year, company got benefited by 20,000 and then it will be get subtracted, it is minus 50. And finally, what will happen? The company got benefited by 1 lakh. So, if I subtract this 1 lakh by 50,000, it comes out to be net profit value to be 50,000. So, this is how this payback period will be calculated. So, for this we need to calculate the ROI, which is the return on investment. What was the investment done and what is the return that we got in it. So, to calculate the return on investment, what is the formula? The formula for this, it is average annual profit divided by total investment multiplied by 100 for this percentage. Okay. So, if I talk about the previous example which we have just discussed. So, for this the average annual profit, it was 50,000 which we calculated over here. This 50,000 which is the annual profit, and for how many years it was there? It was for the 5 years. Okay. So, divide by 5, it comes out to be 10,000. Now, for the ROI, average annual profit, it is 10,000. Total investment was there to be 1 lakh. This was the cash flow. Total investment in this project was 1 lakh. So, 10,000 divided by 1 lakh multiplied by 100, it came out to be 10%. So, what was the ROI in the previous example which we have discussed? What was the return on investment? It was of the 10%. So, to calculate the return on investment, we just need the average annual profit and the total investment which the company is doing. Simply, we will get the what will be the return on the investment that we have done. Next is the net present value which is there. So, net present value means whether I will be in a profit or whether I will be in a loss after some time if I invest some amount of money in my project. Like, would I rather give you 100 euros today or in 12 months time? Like, if I give it today, so what will be the benefit if I give you today? Like, what will be the investment? What will be the, if I say the interest on that particular amount that any person will give, or suppose the bank will give, or if I purchase some share. So, depending on that, the net present value can be calculated. Next term which comes is the discount factor. Now, discount factor is derived to be 1 by 1 plus r raised to power t. Now, what is this r? This r, it is the interest rate. Like in the previous example, the return on investment was 10%. So, the r, this r, the interest rate, it will be 0.10. And what is this t? T, it is the number of the years for which we are calculating this discount factor. Now, in the case of 10%, for 1 year if I say, so 1 by 1 plus 0.1 raised to power 1. So, this will be the value. For 2 years, what will happen? It will be raised to power 1 by 1 plus 0.10 raised to power 2. That means this 1 by, so this is how it will be calculated. Now, if I want to calculate the discount factors for different cash flows, so I can easily calculate. I am having the cash flow, I am having the discount factor, then the discounted cash flow can be calculated from it very easily. So, this is how this net present value, it came out to be 618. So, this is how this net present value can be calculated. Next, it is the internal rate of return. So, what is the internal rate of return? It is also termed in the short form, or we can say the abbreviation to be IRR. It is the discount rate. It will produce an NPV of 0 for the project. So, this is a particular value, and it can be used to compare the different investment opportunities. Like the simple example which we have just discussed, if I give some amount of money to any person, then what will be the interest I will be getting? If I invested in some company, what will be the interest? If I invest in, suppose, in bank, what will be the interest? Or if I make my own project of this particular amount, so what will be the interest that we will be getting? So, this is a Microsoft Excel function, and it can be used to calculate the particular internal rate of return. Now, how next question comes, we are done with the requirements, we are done with the cost. The important thing which comes is the risk. How we are going to identify what are the risks, how the uncertainty in the risk can be calculated. For this risk evaluation, like for a project A, it might have to give a better return than B, but it could be a riskier. We are having two projects, project A and project B. The return in project A is very much high, but the amount of risk is also very much in project A. Now, we could draw a project risk matrix for it, and then we can calculate the load overhead. From those overhead, if the company is able to handle all this overhead, then we are good to go for the project. If the company is not able to handle all these overhead, then we need to make a different strategy for it. For riskier projects, we could use the higher discount rates as well. So, to overcome that particular risk, the higher discounted rates can also be used. Now, this is the example of a project risk matrix. For this project risk matrix, let's see, these are the various types of risk, like software never completed or delivered, project cancelled after the design stage has been done, the client does not like the design and the project has been cancelled. Software delivered late, first one it was never delivered, and this is the project has been delayed for some amount of time. The development budget exceeded less than equal to 20%. Similarly, this is the value, this is an arbitrary value. Okay, this value may be changed from company to company. Second one, if the development budget it is greater than 20%, the maintenance cost it is higher than the estimated ones, or the response time targets are not met for the project. So, these are the various type of risks. Now, for each and every risk, we have to divide it into importance and likelihood. Now, what is importance? That till how much amount of time this risk is important to us. If this risk occur, then how much time we have to give to this risk. And likelihood, what is the most probability of occurring this risk? Like software completed or delivered, it is of very high risk, which if we include it, then the project will get cancelled. Likelihood, it is very nil. Why nil? Because the time estimates has been done accordingly. Software project cancelled after design stage, it is very high, but it occurs very less, so the likelihood is negative. Software delivered late, the importance is medium and the likelihood is also medium. It may occur because of the resources. Development budget exceeded less than 10%, so the importance is low because it is a very nominal amount which can be handled. The likelihood of occurring it is medium. Now, if the budget gets exceeded by 20%, the importance we have to give to it because our whole budget will get affected by it, and the likelihood is low. Why low? Because all the cost benefits analysis has been done before committing to any cost for the project. Maintenance cost higher than the estimated, the importance is low and the likelihood is also low. The response time targets are not met, the importance is low, and similarly the likelihood is also low. So, this type of risk matrix will be calculated, and on the basis of this, the particular cost will be generated. Now, to have a risk, that whether the risk will be included or not, we can make a decision tree as well. For that decision tree, this is any module. Now, if we extend it, if we expand it, no expansion will be done. What will be there if we replace it? We expand this particular project, what will be the cost? If we do not do any expansion, then what will be the cash flow in it? So, basing on yes, no type of thing, the decision tree can also be used to calculate any risk. Now, what are the things that we again the points to remember here? A project may fail through poor management, but it should never have been started, because it should never have been started. So, because of the poor management from the poor initial phase itself, the project may get fail. A project may make a profit, but it may be possible to do something else that make even more profit. I know that, okay, 10,000 for example, this is the profit that I am going to have from this project. So what more efforts I can do so that I can double this particular project? A real problem is that it is not often possible to express benefit in terms of financial term. I have discussed this thing earlier as well. So it is not always in the terms of finance. It is not always in terms of monetary. Some ethical issues also come. Some ethics also come while we are preparing any project. So projects within the highest potential returns are the most risky, which are having the most potential return, from where I am generating more and more revenues. Those projects are definitely going to be more risky. So for that, what we can do, we can give the highest discounted rates, so that the risk, the likelihood of risk, if it is even high, the problem or the management which is required to handle that risk, it is low. So this is how this project management can be done. Under various heads, this management has been discussed. Thank you.